Hello everyone, so today we'll be talking about the types of shock. There are 4 types of shock, so let's write this down. Shock. There are 4 types, right? So first there's hypovolemic shock. There's not enough volume in the blood. Second, there's obstructive shock. And then there is distributive shock. And the last one is what's the last one? Hypovolemic, obstructive, distributive, and what other causes can cause shock? Cardiogenic shock. Right, so hypovolemic shock. What typically causes hypovolemic shock is bleeding, hemorrhage. You lose the blood in your vessels, you lose the volume in your vessels. Right. Other than that, you can also have flow of fluids into your third space. For example, in dengue, you have very leaky capillaries, you can have hypovolemic shock as well. For obstructive shock, it is anything that obstructs the flow of blood. So typical causes of obstructive shocks are cardiac tamponade, so in this case, imagine the blood seeps from inside your heart to the area surrounding your heart, and then this causes your heart to not be able to pump blood, not be able to expand properly. So during systole, your heart contracts, and then during diastole, your heart relaxes and it expands. And that's when blood's supposed to flow into the heart so that the heart can pump the blood out again. However, in cardiac tamponade, because of the blood surrounding the heart can't expand properly. And so this causes obstruction in the flow of blood. Other than cardiac tamponade, you can also have tension pneumothorax. Tension pneumothorax also causes obstructive shock. So how does this happen is when there's tension pneumothorax, there's dragging of the mediastinal structures to one side, and this causes a kink to the vessels that come out from your heart, and this causes the obstruction. Other than that, massive pulmonary embolism also can cause obstructive shock. It's because your blood needs to flow through your lungs before it can flow back into the heart and to the body. If the circulation in your lungs is blocked, then it's another cause of obstructive shock. Then distributive shock, you have 3 different types of shock under distributive shock. You have anaphylactic shock, you have septic shock, and you have neurogenic shock. Right, and what causes all these 3 shocks is vasodilation. So when there's vasodilation of your vessels, the systemic, so basically your blood pressure is your systemic vascular resistance multiplied by your cardiac output. So any drop of any of these 2 parameters, it will reduce your blood pressure. So these 3 types of shock causes a fall in your systemic vascular resistance, and hence a drop in blood pressure. So imagine your body has lots of blood in your blood vessels. So when there's dilation of all these blood vessels, the space suddenly increases, and so this will reduce the pressure. And lastly is cardiogenic shock. So your heart is not pumping the blood around properly, and this will cause hypotension, reduce blood pressure. Okay, I hope this is helpful. So I have for you. Thanks for watching.